Government stash, thank you. All right, we've got Parliament back tomorrow, but we've got the panel that everybody waits for today. Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister, Patrick Gorman, here in the studio with me, and former Liberal MP, Jason Falinski as well, joining us. Thanks both for your time. How do you feel coming back? Pat, is it sort of... I mean, you've always got excitement and enthusiasm, but you've been back here a few times. Is there any element of like getting back on the plane from sunny Perth and trudging back to Canberra?
Well, I love Canberra, I love our nation's capital, and I love the work that we get to do here in the Australian Parliament. So I'm happy to be back. It's been good to be catching up with my colleagues. I've just come from the caucus room where we've signed in some new senators into the caucus book. We've had the Prime Minister talk to us about the importance of delivery and making sure that we actually get things done for the Australian people. That's what we'll be doing this week in Parliament. I'm looking forward to getting back into the Parliament and continuing to articulate our vision to build Australia's future.
I just thought there might be a tiny element of, it's, bit cold, trudging back here, Tom, but never. Jason,
I miss you, Tom. When we're not sitting next to each other, we don't see you in the halls of Parliament, I miss you. And it's good to be back.
Jason, what about you? Do you sit there going, thank God you're not coming back here, every passing day between now and your former political career?
No, I actually miss Canberra. I had fun down there. It was, as Pat says, it's a real honour and privilege to be able to be involved in, the life and making Australia better for Australians and future generations. So it's a real privilege. How could you not look forward to doing that?
Hey, I love it here. Just thought someone would bite. But maybe we've got a president and a future politician with me. Maybe that's the real issue. Comment on that if you want, or don't, Jason. But comment on this. HEX debt, slashing HEX debt. Is this something the coalition should just pass through? Is there a mandate? Is it a good use of money?
No, it's not a good use of money, and no, we shouldn't pass it through. Although, having said that, the Labor Party took it to the election, and I firmly believe that if a political party takes a policy to the election, then it is we should oppose it, but we shouldn't vote against it. And therefore, I think maybe we shouldn't vote against it in the lower house or the Senate. Having said that, they're not reducing student debt, Tom. All they're doing is they're making it someone else's debt. So it's not a debt reduction. It's not a way to make education cheaper and more affordable for Australians. The universities are still charging too much for too little and giving too little back and not doing research and all.
Wasn't that especially on humanities?
Australian universities.
The change made by the coalition to try to change what people were studying, it didn't work, and now just if you study a humanities degree, you've got a bigger debt. Has that reform worked out well?
Oh, I think that most of our reforms in education, including Gonski 2.0, were not successful, Tom. They did not serve either families or students. They didn't make us ready for the future. They didn't provide the skills. They haven't made educational institutions responsive to the needs of future Australians and Australians today. These are institutions that are having a great laugh at how much money they can get from as few people as possible. And dare I mention international students?
At all, Patrick?
But,
Dare you... Yeah. All right. I want to ask Patrick something. He's feeling left out. Why not tackle that element of it? This is the change made by the coalition where they said too many people are studying humanities, it's not a useful skill, and they essentially made people pay a lot more or allowed universities to charge a lot more, and you haven't touched that. Why not?
Yeah, well, what we thought was the priority when we looked at what we wanted to do with higher education, and of course Minister Jason Clare continues to work through the university's accord of recommendations. But what we wanted to do was to help with that immediate cost of living pressure from having those large university debts. So we're acting on that. I know from my electorate, it's 22,529 people who benefit from the bill.
So get people to keep racking up the debt.
We're
and then
reducing
use
the
taxpayer money to reduce it. That's the plan.
And this also has an immediate cost of living benefit, because what we're also doing is increasing the thresholds at which people have to pay back those debts.
Yeah, that's a separate...
They get to earn more, keep more of what they earn, keep more money in their pocket when they're starting out their career.
That's not true.
That's what we've chosen to prioritise. And if people want to look at what we've done in other areas of education, they can look at our initiative for free TAFE.
But right
We've had
now,
more than 500,000 people.
You alluded to the other bits being worked through. So
but it's
keep
not free.
allowing universities to charge all that extra money for the courses, then put on your taxpayer cape on taxpayer money cape on and reduce the debt at the end of their degree. It seems like a strange way to go about it.
It doesn't reduce their debt.
It does reduce their debt, and it changes the thresholds at which they have to pay back.
No, it doesn't.
Debt. That means they get more money in their pocket in those early years of their career. And again, I'll just point out that if you want to see our investments in education, they're there across the board. Investments in early childhood education, investments in free TAFE, delivering the full student resource funding standard. That's there. We've agreed that with the states and territories. And this, which will make it more affordable for people to take on university degrees, to go and get the skills that they need for the future. And in those early years of their career, when they may be earning sort of $50,000, $60,000, they're not paying as much back.
It is. Look, I've gone back and forth with Pat.
Let's just be clear about this.
Money swill, Jason.
We haven't reduced debt.
It does cut
TAFE's
debt
not free.
overall.
This is not an investment.
Yeah.
Like these institutions are still massively charging too much money for not providing skills that Australians need. So there's no real reform in education under this government or, frankly, the previous government of which I served. So let's everyone just be blunt about this here. Australian students are continuing to get ripped off. They did not reduce the debt. They just took the debt and they gave it to someone else to pay back. TAFE is not free. Someone else is paying for it. They're still not providing the skills that Australians need into the future, and that's why this is just a Ponzi scheme that really needs to actually be properly reformed.
Jason, I want to ask you, I'm not sure... You're fired up now. I'm not sure if this is the right way to go about it, but we'll see. What was your emoji when you heard Barnaby Joyce say, let's revisit net zero this morning?
Oh, well, that's an original idea from the National Party.
All right, so the fake...
They're really swinging for the fences these days, aren't they? Maybe.
Is this... What would you're Susan Lee, do you wake up and go, great, this is how I want to start the new term?
Well, why not? It's how we finished the last one and the one before that and the one before that. I mean, like, what is it? Hell is doing the same thing over and over again. I think we're in, like, Dante's fourth circle of hell on this. Someone needs... I mean, look, these debates are necessary on our side so that there can be proper resolution, and then everyone needs to get in line and defend our policy, whatever it may be. But, you know, the vast majority of Australians want to see us take action on climate. They believe that human beings have created changes that are adverse to us in our climate, and we should be global leaders in this endeavour. I share their concerns. I think the National Party needs to come to the table with some ideas around how to deal with that, rather than pointing to all the ludicrousness of the current policy settings that we have. They need to actually come up with some solutions.
Getting things passed around this area, Patrick, might just involve not the coalition but the Greens. What do you do about the Senate crossbench? Is it just simply you deal with the Greens now and that's it? Because there's no actual relevance to other crossbenchers if the Greens pass something right now. Does that just make you feel uncomfortable? You're going to pretend to do a deal with someone else and then just use the Greens votes and whack them on as well?
Oh, well, we'll do what we did in the last term, which is we treated the crossbench with respect. I sat in a number of briefings for crossbench members in the House of Representatives. We took where there were good ideas from the crossbenchers about our legislative agenda. We took those suggestions seriously. So we'll do that again this term. And we didn't need to do that in the House of Representatives. We did it because we wanted to get the best outcomes for the Australian people. And if I can just comment on what we've just had from Jason, I think Jason at least believes that climate change is real and believes that Australia should do something about it. What I think the Australian people want to see from this so-called new leadership team of Susan Ley and David Littleproud is, are they actually going to pull Barnaby Joyce in, or are they just going to let him go on another frolic? And I think it's important that your viewers know, Tom, Barnaby Joyce was Deputy Prime Minister when the coalition signed up to Paris and net zero. So the fact that he's now reformed himself and completely changed his policy position reflects more on Barnaby Joyce than it does on anything about the importance of acting on climate change. And the fact that Susan Ley can't end this debate, I mean, it says everything about where the coalition's at right now.
You've got to help me out with this. Susan Lee, that's her name. I'm just a stickler for that. So, anyway, on that note, Patrick, Jason,
I can agree on that.
Can I say
great to have you back.
Patrick invested in his relationships in the crossbench. He didn't spend time on them; he invested in them.
And I know why you're saying that word, and I'm inclined to agree with you, I must admit. All right, Jason, Patrick, talk next.